Now, just a little warning before we begin. There will be major spoilers in this video for the 9th and final episode of She-Hulk. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want anything ruined, it's a really good time to click away. Okay, what did you think of the final episode of She-Hulk?
I wish I could have clicked away from it.
You could have.
I feel like a part of myself may have died.
Yeah, this was, without question, the worst thing in the MCU.
I mean, in some respects, I agree with Jen Walters that her show was stupid.
That's the really strange... It's like the writers started to write the show, they got to the end and they realized what they had written made no sense. Mm-hmm. And so instead of trying to force some kind of plot or meaning into the series, they decided to go just off the rails.
Yep.
And make fun of itself and to make fun of the internet trolls who were going to tear it apart. It tries to be...
Your show shouldn't prep to be just torn apart by trolls.
Well, that's the strange thing. It's like the show knows it's really, really bad, so it's going to make fun of itself so that the trolls can look stupid. I think that's the line of thinking here.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure.
The show decided it would attack the fans. That was all the She-Hulk show was for, attacking back. Smacking back at fans by going, look, we made the show you guys said we were going to make.
Yeah, we made an awful show.
Isn't this what you wanted?
Ha-ha. I don't get it.
Whose show is this?
I don't understand.
I mean, I really wanted to like this show.
I wanted it to be a show.
I mean, what's stupid is that the showrunners knew how to make a good show. They Well, no, they had to have, because Jen even said to Robo Kevin that the show was about her gaining powers and kind of finding a resolution for herself, which is the plot point that we've liked, that we've discussed, this threaded plot point.
Sprinkled in here and there, yeah.
That's what we've always said we liked about the show. Is Jen learning how to be Jen plus learning to be She-Hulk. Kind of finding a resolution within herself to find who she is now. That is the plot point we have always applauded throughout the show. It was the only thing we've constantly been saying throughout the show was really good. They acknowledged, they had Jen tell Kevin that was the plot. That was supposed to be the plot. So what was this?
They also make fun of the fact that something like that tends to be the plot of every Marvel movie.
No, they said the plot of every movie is blood and giant action resolution and daddy issues.
Sure, but I mean, pretty much all Marvel movies follow the same kind of generic, superhero journey, if you will, the hero's journey-ish.
Mm-hmm. But hers was supposed to be a little different. Hers was wrestling with issues on a personal scale within herself, whereas they're usually finding theirs against a villain.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen... I think Iron Man is the best one that kind of deals with a lot of personal things, more so than just the external ones.
I agree.
And it's... I do agree with you. I think that there is that smattering of something in there that worked. It's few and far between, and I guess if they would have embraced it and trimmed the season down and gave us some kind of antagonist besides the internet and the trolls.
Hulking and...
Yeah.
At least they got rid of the blood plot, so that never happened.
But, see, that's part of my... I don't want to say problem, because the whole thing is a problem, but part of the disappointing thing is I watch these shows partly to be entertained in and of itself, sure, certainly.
Absolutely.
I watch it because generally I like MCU movies and shows. But I do also watch because I like the larger story. I like continuity. I talk about this a ton with Star Wars, right? For me, continuity is king. When you make something that breaks continuity or that ignores it, it takes me out of your universe. And, nothing has taken me out of the MCU more than it becoming self-aware. I've kind of not enjoyed the whole multiverse thing. Not that it can't work or that it's bad in the comics, but I like that the MCU had this, a sense of being grounded, and bringing in the multiverse is kind of, it's gone a little off the rails. In my opinion, you can love that, and like I said, it works in the comics, but when you kind of make the MCU self-aware in this weird sort of way, you've completely lost me. It makes me less interested in everything else, because you're essentially telling me that this is a show. And Yeah, I get that. I know that. But at the same time, I want that sense of immersion. I want to be able to watch something and think to myself, this is, I'm watching an alternate reality, a real alternate reality. Or I'm watching Star Wars and it's a galaxy, far, far away a long time ago. But now it's like you're acknowledging it's just a written show. It's just a written thing. It's so strange to acknowledge that in universe, if you will.
Right. And I'm willing to just forget this whole show existed.
Well, sure, you can just pretend it didn't happen.
Except for the Daredevil part-ish.
Well,
she had to be really cringy about it.
Oh,
bring Daredevil back. Girl's got needs.
Yeah.
Ew.
And I'll smash that.
Well, no, it's doing the same thing to, Daredevil as they assume all men do to women.
Yes,
look at them
exactly.
solely for,
That's exactly what it does. It's so strange that the show kind of, and we discussed this, I think, last week, the show kind of disproves the initial...
Right.
Her initial rant about controlling her anger.
It totally does.
Her life is infinitely harder because she's a woman. It kind of disproves that.
It absolutely does, which
yeah.
I guess I'm happy for, that they didn't decide that was the message. Instead, they threw all the messaging away and said that kind of on no matter what sides or positions you choose to take, whether you hate men, whether you hate women, that it's all stupid.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if that... we got some crazy... Always when we start recording, they decide to get the zoomies and run around. So apologies for the cats, but it is strange. I'm not entirely sure what the show wanted to accomplish. Did it try to poke fun at everything and everybody?
I assume so.
Kind of make
They just bent so far in one direction at first that we all assumed what their message or whatever was going to be. Which we were proven wrong because they made fun of literally everybody.
Yeah, and she also, she gets very angry and she acknowledges that, I got very angry and that made me... So it's almost like, and I can't believe I'm having like this deep analysis of the show, but it's almost like it wanted to show how ridiculous it all is.
Mm-hmm. I can see that,
It kind of made fun of the superhero genre in general. The fascination with that, people get so obsessed with it that they will go online and attack actors or writers or whatever it might be. And yet at the same time, it also just like I said, it kind of makes fun of everything.
It does.
And I'm not saying it's brilliant by any stretch, because I think it's kind of lost in stupidity.
If they would have wrapped it in maybe a little more intelligent packaging, maybe that would have worked. But it kept getting so goofy that you would start disregarding it.
Yeah. Because, like I said, it makes fun of itself, and then it makes fun of the people who take it very seriously, which is your core audience.
I believe so.
And it tries to say, well, the trolls are just making fun of something that's frivolous, and they take it so seriously, and that just makes them bad. But at the same time, what they're making fun of is irrelevant. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the mindset here was.
If you could spend hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to analyze something deep that they may have not even thought about, that they may have just done. They may have just painted themselves into the proverbial corner where they were like, okay, we're going to make this fun sitcom style show. And then they got to the end and they're like, well, we have to do something. And then they went with this.
Well, at least the show in its own way acknowledged that it was way too cluttered at the end and they had way too many weird plot lines that they didn't resolve.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They acknowledged how contrived this was, and in turn, kind of how contrived a lot of the MCU is.
Well, and now I'm afraid that if they do a season 2 like the writers said they were,
will
it really be just a long dream sequence? Come on.
I don't know, nightmare sequence perhaps, but...
Bum, bum, bum.
No, I don't know what to say. It was terrible. Like,
no, I had a scowl on my face for most of it.
Yeah, you were just looked like you were in pain most of the time. I was watching in disbelief.
I just get really sad because I wanted to like this. I thought this would be really cool, and I hate to say it, but I feel like they just keep messing up standalone female superhero things. Like they don't know what to do with women.
Isn't that the funny thing?
And it makes me really mad.
This was...
They could have done Jen really good. They could have had her struggling internally with, her anger, with being a Hulk now, with being in the public spotlight when she didn't want to be, with fighting over the fact that everything that She-Hulk is, all the more superficial, the confidence, the looks, the strength, that everything that she wanted was something that she wasn't as herself. They could have made this really nice, deep, introspective thing, and they just decided to make drivel I mean,
they turned it into a joke. They made it so bad that they proved the trolls in the show right about how bad it is.
they need to stop self-titling women shows because they make them weird. I mean, Miss Marvel,
Miss Marvel,
I will
think-
set her aside. She was fine.
Yeah, I don't think it
But
was
the
a
Black
good...
Widow was kind of a mess.
Black Widow's one of the worst films in the MCU.
Kate Bishop they handled well, but it wasn't self-titled after her, so
No.
they could.
I think the Miss Marvel show was fine. It was a bad superhero show, or not a very good one, but it was a fine slice of life, I
Coming
guess.
of age
in a
type story,
that kind of thing. I don't hate it. I thought it was just there, and I can understand why people would really enjoy it. But for me,
I just think they should have handled that main plot point, the plot point that Jen acknowledges herself, her resolving the issue of between her and She-Hulk. And they decided to ignore that and go with some stupid, flashy thing that even she, within the show, said was stupid and flashy.
Yeah, and I think the main problem here is she's just not very likable.
Acknowledging that it was bad does not make it good.
No, but I mean, she's not likable. Like, when the episode started and, like, everything's going wrong, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I didn't like you. Like, you feel like you deserve a lot of this. You're not relatable.
No, because she decided to not acknowledge any of her flaws. And then they just threw that all out the window. So, what are we supposed to think? What are we left with this show? I don't even know.
Is it an attempt to do something kind of deep and profound? I mean, honestly, is that what
It could have been, but they threw that all away, especially when they threw in that stupid ending
but I mean,
cameo.
with this, well, sure. The whole, I mean, the packaging, as you said before, it's stupid. But I mean, was that what it was trying to do?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know why you do this.
And then we have a long wait now. Well, we've got Black Panther, and then we've got a big wait till our next Marvel project.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe. I mean, I think
Maybe
we have
we
a
just need a
holiday
break.
special from Guardians of the Galaxy coming out this holiday season. But then I think our next project is Secret Invasion, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I think.
And if they want to go back to their formula after this, I welcome it.
I think it's time for
Maybe
like
don't
a
break the box
reset or
because
something.
when you try to break the box just disintegrates and
Yeah,
makes everything.
I am like this. I don't even like.
This is such a hard review because it was so messed up.
Yeah, I just don't care. It got me. You know, like I'm a big fan of the MCU. I'll be honest. I think there's far more hits than misses. But I watched this and I'm like, man, this makes me just not care because you don't care.
It's because so many of the misses came all at once.
Phase 4 has been a lot of miss. It's been a lot of like, oh,
It's been a lot
okay,
of weird
that's all
stuff
right.
in Phase 4.
Whereas the first 3 phases felt very tight and you know well formulated and like you had a plan. This was just like we're gonna throw some stuff at the board and see what sticks and what works, and then we're just gonna say this was Phase 4 and move on to Phase 5. And I mean, I hope Wakanda Forever is good. It looks pretty good so far.
I still have a lot of hope for Wakanda Forever. The visuals on it look amazing. I mean,
and you don't want to screw. I mean, it is kind of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, who
so they really can't
actor and
screw
an
this
icon.
up.
So no, exactly. This has to be this has to be up there with No Way Home in terms of just the quality of the movie. It has to be.
It has to be, yes.
They can't screw this up. Anyway, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I don't know whether I have anything else to say other than
I wonder what Jen's job is now. They didn't even talk about that. We know she got fired from GLK&H.
it doesn't matter. She can just talk to Kevin and change it. And I mean, they
No,
even
she doesn't
acknowledge
get
like
to
how
talk to
expensive.
Kevin anymore.
I know. I mean, they even acknowledge like how expensive it is, and that the CGI team is like moved on.
I'd be
and it's
mad
like,
if I was
oh
one of
my
their
God.
VFX artists. They're like, yeah, they've moved on to other things, and they play
they
the
did
Wakanda.
Yeah.
Where are the X-Men? Yeah, I know you were asking the questions that we want the answers to, but I don't want to hear them from you. I'm sorry, Jen. I don't.
Because it's meta. It's
Too
like
meta.
it's like beyond meta. It's like an interview with Kevin Feige in robot form or something. I don't know.
Do you want to talk about the cameo?
Oh, sure. I guess.
Scar, son of Hulk,
Yeah.
who I really hope they are joking and they don't put him in this way.
No, he's in this way, I think.
But it's just so weird
sounded like
because
they confirmed
when
the
he
movie,
went
too.
to Sakaar in the Thor Ragnarok where they found him there, he was all interested in Valkyrie. Valkyrie is not the mom, right? Like you could tell he was kind of had a little thing for Valkyrie.
Yeah. We didn't
So
get
when
a
did he
great
get
look at
together
Scar.
with his actual?
His
he
real
got-
the mother, yeah.
It wasn't just his baby mama either. He got married.
Yeah, he has a wife.
They were in love,
Yeah.
and we're missing out on that whole thing for some cheap cameo.
Yeah. That's
I mean, the whole
but they-
Planet Hulk storyline was a masterwork.
Well, they're implying that there's a movie with Hulk coming in it. She said, we'll wait for the movie or something like that. I think Jen said it. You know, because I think Kevin, or I forget how it all worked.
I don't know.
I'm just kind of blocking it out already. But
I think they were joking that she was going to get a movie too, and he's like, no.
well, yeah, but I mean, they did say, well, they'll explain that in the movie or something like that in reference to Hulk. So I'm thinking they kind of confirmed a
can
Hulk
tell?
movie, which I guess is the coolest thing to come out of the series.
Yay.
Even though, like, at this point, I'm like, oh, do I care? I mean, I guess that's what
I
it's
care
coming
if they
to.
get rid of Smart Hulk and turn him
I-
back into Hulk and Banner.
Do I care anymore? Like, honestly, like I said, I
This
love
mo-
the
this
MCU, but I'm like, I
show
watch
has
this and I'm like,
brought
I'm literally watching this because it's part of the MCU, but
It's a
it
crisis of faith.
kind of is. I hate to say it, like when I see the direction, and I'm going a little off topic. When I see the direction like Andor just took, like you took it even more seriously than you ever had before, and it's so well written, and it's like this is like the antithesis of Andor, right? An extremely well written show that tries to take your universe very seriously, and you have this where you completely, I mean, you shatter the fourth wall. I mean, it's not that she breaks it and talks to the camera, which I really don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. But when you're like going through the Disney Plus screen and talking to Robot Kevin and you're in the writer's room, it's like, what are you doing? What is this? Like it, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to stop watching the MCU, but maybe people should consider. Maybe it's time to like say, hey, you remember how good this used to be? You remember Barry? Remember how good this used to be? Like, can we go back to that? Can we go back to that quality writing that hooked us? Now that it feels like, oh, we got you on board. We landed the fish. So now we don't have to put any effort in anymore. We don't have to try anymore. We just throw drivel at you and you're supposed to watch it. I don't know. Very disappointed. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Yeah. And let's talk some Marvel. Is it time for Marvel to take itself seriously again? Do they need to look in the mirror and say, what the hell are we doing? And until next time, thanks for watching.